Now, in a sudden U-turn, the Ministry of Home Affairs said that the e-commerce companies will not be allowed to deliver non-essential goods from today. They will continue to remain prohibited under the lockdown restrictions. Remember, this move comes after government sources had clarified earlier that e-commerce operations for all products will be allowed based on the new guidelines issued for phase 2 of the lockdown. E-commerce players were in fact gearing up to restart operations, and in fact the likes of Flipkart and Amazon had hired thousands of delivery and warehouse staff to scale operations and fulfill orders of all orders starting from 20th of April, which is today. Now, to talk about how the industry actually feels about this new move, how they have been responding and what it means from a business point of view, I'm now joined by Srinivas Mothe of Paytm Mall, Suchi Mukherjee of LimeRoad and Suchita Salwan of LBB. Welcome to the show. Srini, let me start this conversation with you. You were planning to go live today with your non-essential categories, including consumer electronics, utensils, apparel. While you have had to put these plans on hold yet again, give us an insight into what was going on behind the scenes, what you were doing to prep for this relaunch of operations.
Hi, thanks, Megha, for inviting me. Megha, I think last 2-3 weeks, we've been engaging with a lot of our sellers, logistics partners, reaching proactively to them, did a lot of preparedness surveys in terms of how prepared are they, to just understand also whether they need issues in packaging. Maybe some sellers couldn't open because of labor force. So I think we've been kind of sorting out a lot of those issues over the last 2 weeks, including also establishing seller-friendly policies like removing penalties, increasing the order timelines, and also we've come up with an SOP for following COVID health and hygiene checks also. For the first time, we even started giving SOPs out to merchants and logistics partners also. So I think a lot of planning went into the last 2 weeks into starting.
Okay. Okay, Suchi, let me bring you in at this point into the conversation. I know you believe that we got into the lockdown with a big bang approach, but coming out of the lockdown cannot have the same sort of approach. It must be gradual. That's something that you have already expressed. But do you see us moving in that direction?
Megha, I think the government's plan as of the 15th of March, 15th of April was extremely astute. And it's, Modi ji akin getting out of lockdown and into lockdown as a war. We got in there with a big bang. All of us complied, and that was the right thing to do. But getting out of it, much like a war, you don't send your entire cavalry out together. You send it in phases. And so I thought that the decision as of the 15th of April to open up sectors gradually with online all categories going first, testing the waters, learning, and then gradually opening up offline was extraordinarily well thought through. However, the U-turn, due to apparently level playing field with offline and online,
yes,
does not feel right.
Okay.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, this is about a matter of weeks.
Okay.
Somebody has to test the water. Somebody has to test the water first, and we have to let the least risky sectors go first.
Okay.
And it's a matter of weeks.
Okay,
So
okay.
I think,
Suchi, so you're saying the level playing field at this point between online and offline does not seem fair. But before I come to that point that you just made, Suchita, while Paytm Mall and LimeRoad were all set to restart operations, I know you decided to put your plans on hold till the 1st of May. What made you stay on the fence? And talk to us about the fact that you've been in touch with so many local businesses and local brands. What's their sentiment on ground at this point?
So Megha, I think our reason for sort of, holding back on plans to relaunch commerce on LBB on the 20th of April was predominantly because of, because of the way our reaction to COVID has been, where, as great the decisions as they may be, they've come to us as surprises, right? So I think a lot of what we sort of wanted to do was just ensure that the decision around relaunching e-commerce was a permanent one, or at least for the foreseeable future, a permanent one, and we wanted to ensure that that the government was looking at it, from a slightly more long-term lens before we kickstarted our operations. Because, like you clearly pointed out, it's not a switch, right? You can't turn a merchant on and off. You can't build up, demand overnight. You can't do delivery and procurement of anything, everything from packaging to labor, etc. overnight. We support over 5,000 SMBs, and we know the impact that it's taken on them. And we definitely wanted to ensure that the decision to relaunch e-commerce, or at least to make e-com available for non-essentials, was at least from a long-term lens. And because it's difficult for not just us, but any e-com company to turn switches on and off overnight, we decided to just hold up, see how things shape up over the next couple of days. And, as we all know now, MHA sort of ended up reversing their decision.
Absolutely, absolutely. E-commerce is not a switch. You can't just turn it off and on. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to kind of rebuild that demand and rebuild operations and kickstart business as usual. And referring back to what Suchi was saying earlier on now, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal tweeted that he is grateful for PM Modi's clarification on limiting e-commerce activities to essentials, and he believes that this will help maintain a level playing field for small retailers. Srini, do you see this as a push from the Confederation of All India Traders? I mean, Suchi's made her stand clear that this is not fair. But what's your take on this?
I think, Megha, we as companies support the government thinking, for safety of a lot of lives, millions of lives in India. I think we support the spirit as such. But I think our concern has always been that the ambit of essentials has to go increase, to consumer electronics, all of those. Reason being, a lot of IT workforce, employees like us are already working from home. And there's a lot of requirement in terms of productivity products that people need. So I would say, I think the ambit has to increase. I think that's how I kind of come in. But like I said, we do support the spirit because millions of lives are far more important than anything else. But we do feel that at this time when a lot of people are working from home and productivity is already there, the ambit of essentials has to kind of increase. I think that's where my concern always has been as a company from Paytm.
Okay, so that's your ask at this point, that the ambit of essentials, or what is considered as essentials, has to be expanded going forward, and we have to move gradually in that direction. But Suchi, let me let you complete your thought. How do you look forward from here on? How do you see things changing now, say post May 3rd, since that somehow seems like a finish line at this point when it comes to this lockdown as of now?
Megha, just to clarify, I think the thought is not about fairness at all. I don't think it's fair or unfair. I just feel very strongly on behalf of tens of thousands of domestic manufacturers that the economy must open up. And even small baby steps are the right thing to do.
Okay.
It almost doesn't matter who goes first at this stage. Ultimately, the economy has to open up, and it will have to be in phases.
Okay.
So my request to Praveen ji at CAIT has also been that this is not online, offline. This is about how quickly can we orchestrate a safe opening up of our economy. So now where we are, all our seller partners are really working towards gearing up for an opening up, and we're hopeful that opening up will happen. Hopefully even before the 3rd of May, but that may be wishful thinking at this point.
Okay.
But whatever happens, the economy has to crawl back towards normalcy.
Point taken. Point taken, Suchi. Point taken. Suchita, let me also ask you, and the fact that you support so many local businesses and brands, that majority of them come under non-essentials and your operations are on hold for such a long time. So talk to us about how does this affect a startup like yours? Do you see layoffs, job cuts? Is that a route that you're going to probably have to take? Would you be forced in that direction given the current circumstances?
So, Megha, fortunately for us, we have multiple business lines. So, for example, ad revenue is a business line for us, which hasn't seen that significant a drop, or at least is seeing some amount of pickup. We also recently launched Essentials on LBB, so a lot of your local brands that make interesting snacks or skincare products, those can now be bought through our webinar